Imagine being the biggest consultancy in the world and government paying you somewhere around $440,000. Imagine using ChatGPT to generate that report.
Can we have our taxpayer money back, please? I hope that
I think
a refund.
they are issuing some refund now. We are working with a law firm and they have just sort of bought ChatGPT enterprise licenses, and they were saying, we are going to give the licenses to the people and then we can do the training next week. And I said, no. Private organizations, they are focusing on getting benefit out of it. It needs to be the governments who need to be worried about authenticity.
And let's face it, governments aren't going to catch up quick enough.
But from a business perspective, you also need to look at, with what's possible, how can I ensure that I am actually using the best technology that's out there so that I am not stuck behind my competitors.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to this latest episode of The Dumb Monkey Show. We are joined, as always, by my co-host, Aamir Qutub. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. Aamir, it's been, as always, a pretty exciting time in the world of AI.
It has been. There's so much happening, and we met last week, and there's so much that has changed in 1 week.
I know. I feel like we've spent maybe 20 minutes, half an hour before sitting down here today just talking about just all things AI, just chatter.
Absolutely. The crazy world of AI.
The crazy world of AI. Yeah. So let's dive in and maybe talk through some of the things that have been happening in the news, and particularly in company news in over the past week or so, and things that have caught our interest that we've been having discussions about. And then there's some news about some of the cool new things that are happening from the big end of AI.
Yes.
Maybe let's start with what's new, because as we know, this rollout of AI, new products, new developments, new platforms, they're all coming thick and fast at the moment. OpenAI has delivered another banger.
Yes, they have. And every time they come up with something new, people say, oh, it's revolutionary, but I'm not saying it just for the sake of it. They have actually delivered something that is going to change the social media space forever, but the video creation space forever. So they already had a video model called Sora that allowed you to generate videos with prompts, but now they have got a new model called Sora 2, and it's at next level. Like the quality of the videos that come out of it is unbelievable. But most importantly, what you can do is you can actually take a photo of yourself or record a video of yourself, and then you can, with the help of prompts, create any type of videos. It's not just you as a talking head. You can be dancing, you can be acting in a movie, and then you can actually share your avatar, which means people can collaborate with you and make videos with you. So you can actually make a video with Sam Altman or any of the celebrity who have allowed you to record a video with them.
Oh, this is incredibly cool. So tell me first off what you think the coolest use of this would be that you could think of right now.
So there are a lot of cool uses in terms of how people are using it. So you can it's not only creating realistic videos, it is creating anime videos, a lot of animation stuff, a lot of explanatory videos as well. So the range of the videos it can create is amazing. Like it can create from the scenes to short videos, to animations, to explainers. So there are a lot of different use cases, and one of the biggest, coolest use case would be storytelling. So although the camera and mobile was accessible to a lot of people, but it took a lot of effort to still, record yourself and create a video. And you needed a lot of video editing gear, a lot of lights and things like that. But now anyone who can imagine a scene, can think of a story, can actually use prompts to create a video. And it's not like earlier with earlier models like VO3 or Sora. You would give a prompt and it would create one single scene from one single angle. But now you can create a prompt, it can set up multiple scenes, which means you have character, like, how in actual movies, how you're recording from distance, and then you could doing a close-up and a shot from the back. It can all do that.
So it's incorporating cuts. It's allowing you to come in from multiple angles.
Yes.
And it's probably unleashing a little bit more of what we would call the high-end video production values.
Absolutely.
Into an AI video generator. How realistic is it? How realistic is realistic?
I would say it's as close to realistic as it can be at this stage. Like it would be very difficult to distinguish a video that's generated by AI really well. So this time what they did was to launch Sora 2. They actually launched a video and it was explaining what Sora 2 can do. But the whole video was actually created by Sora 2. So how Steve Jobs used to come and launch Apple products, or someone would come and talk about that. But this time they did the whole launch with the help of Sora 2 generated videos.
It's amazing how fast this is developing, isn't it? Because it really wasn't that long ago that you'd see video produced by AI and sort of go, yeah, look, it's cool. It's cool and fun to look at. But would you use that as part of your corporate communications? You'd have to be pretty creative about how you sold that particular message. So this opening up of then the potential of AI-created videos sounds like it would have some huge upsides for business. And we're doing this in a business context. So for people who are doing it to do their business storytelling, their business communications, that explainer videos, things like that, that seems like it would be a really useful tool. What do people need to be careful of? Because nothing is fallible, and certainly not AI.
So from a consumer perspective, the biggest challenge is how do you, when these models get they become so good, how do you really distinguish it between what's real and what's not real? So and especially when we talk about the people who have not been exposed to AI, like my dad or my aunt or my uncle, who actually
my dad,
and consume a lot of information and believe what they see as true. So there was a lot of fake news that was already there, and now it has all become extremely believable. So which means people who want to promote propaganda, there's so much of hate in the world at the moment against everyone, against minorities, against immigrants, against all type of different classes of people. Now it has become so easy to create a propaganda and spread that hate.
That was going to be my next question. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one that was sitting there thinking it sounds exciting, but it all sounds equally problematic. The risk of this being used at a large level as propaganda tools, as hate speech or hate messaging, as fake news that's damaging, but also at a personal level. People can do some pretty horrible things to each other online and do all of the time already. What sort of protections are in place? How can we start at least starting this conversation rather than actually explaining? But I think really important to dig down and start that conversation of going, what are we going to do with this? How are we going to protect people? How are we going to hold people who produce these videos accountable? What needs to be done at a system level and at a community level?
So OpenAI has put some good security considerations in place. The way they have set it up is that you can record your own video and then you are the owner of your own avatar. And only when you allow other people to collaborate with you, that's when they can collaborate with you. If you're sharing a video out of Sora app, then it puts a bookmark watermark and says it's produced by Sora.
And it can't be removed?
Everything can be removed. Yes. So it can be removed. They have got some meta tags in there as well. But then today I was testing, there's another platform called HeyGen that is used to generate videos. And they have got Sora 2 in there. So I actually uploaded one of my friend's photo in there, and I thought I'll see if it can generate a video out of that. It was able to generate a video out of that without any consent or any protection. So although they have built the protection in their application, but the APIs that they have exposed, there might be something that's still allowing people to generate the videos.
So things to be really, really aware of. Is that these can be great, but they're in the world, they're being used, they're available for everyone.
Be
mindful that everything you see may not be what you're seeing.
That's right. Yes. And I want to communicate this message to my family is that if you receive a video call from me or a voice call from me, don't trust it.
Double check and send me a text message, two-factor authentication.
That's right. Yes.
Every message from me now on.
Because we are seeing a lot of these scams going on where distressed daughters are calling.
Oh, absolutely. I've had messages. Yes. I've had messages saying, "Hi, Mom, it's me, and I've lost my phone, and can you send me some money to this?" And it's far too polite and far too grammatically correct to have come from either of my kids. So I knew that it wasn't them.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Which opens up a new conversation that you and I were having just earlier, talking about authenticity and the importance of authenticity in the age of AI. So AI development is leapfrogging ahead of any kind of policy and protocols that we're going to have, particularly at a government level, and even at a societal level. Like, our understanding of AI hasn't caught up with what AI is doing. So in this world of super, super fast change, how do we, or what's being done in the world of development to bring authenticity back onto the table?
So there are some organizations that are working towards it. So we were just talking about a platform from Adobe, which is around an authenticator. And what it allows you to do is that if you're producing any content from AI, then it actually puts the metadata in there so that it has been produced by AI. If you post a video on LinkedIn that's generated by AI, generally LinkedIn marks it as generated by AI. But on the other hand, there are open source models and tools like Higgsfield through which you can generate videos that are where you can remove that metadata or meta tags.
Yeah.
So there are people who are trying to catch up with it, but because a lot of private organizations, they are focusing on developing the technology and getting benefit out of it. They are not the ones who are actually concerned about authenticity.
Yeah,
So it
they're not
needs
the
to
ones that are
be
paying the price, are they?
That's right. So it needs to be the governments who need to be worried about authenticity.
And let's face it, governments aren't going to catch up quick enough. So if we don't, at a community level, start making a bit of noise about it, then they're not going to act.
They won't, yes. And it's going to be a bigger problem going forward. But I would say, again, from a business perspective, you also need to look at, with what's possible, how can I ensure that I am actually using the best technology that's out there so that I am not stuck behind when my other competitors are actually embracing some of it as well. Yeah.
It's such a fail-fast environment now, isn't it, with business and technology development? There's been some really interesting things that have happened over the last few months in the corporate world, releasing AI or introducing AI into their workflows and then having some pretty hectic pushback and very public fails on the back of that. I mean, of course, the Commonwealth Bank in Australia in July rolled out an AI voicebot, and that after the rollout, almost immediately after the rollout of the voicebot, their call centers became very busy. Staff that they had made redundant on the back of thinking that this voicebot was going to take over some of that work then found that staff are not only busier, those units were busier, but they had to try and rehire staff, bring in people, and the workload had increased. It was a big public fail.
And it came to me as a surprise, like, how would such a big mess up happen? Like, did they just say, okay, we are going to deploy voice agents and at the same time fire people and without any testing? Like, I cannot imagine how such a large organization would make such a huge change, let people go, and then they have to hire the people, in the next day.
To be fair, they certainly came out and their messaging was, look, we made a mistake. We haven't done this the right way. Our internal processes, we're reviewing our internal processes to make sure that we don't do that. We're doing everything that we can to apologize to those people and to give them options as to what works for them, but acknowledging that the damage has been done. Or certainly from the union's point of view, the messaging is that the damage has been done. But I think it's a really good example of when you put fail fast in front of your business reputation, particularly in this space where technology is developing fast, we haven't really done a whole lot of testing of what are the outcomes. So everyone's introducing AI, but we haven't had this a long run of time to go back and actually look at what does that actually mean. We're really at risk of going down the same pitfalls that we saw when social media first developed. Social media was developed to fail fast as well. And some of those intrinsic problems that we have with social media now are embedded because there wasn't any accountability.
So talking about social media, what it reminds me of is that OpenAI has launched their own social media platform as well. It's called Sora.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And it's like TikTok.
Which I'm actually disappointed they didn't call SodaStream, but I get that name has been taken.
Yes. And it's like TikTok, but it's a TikTok for videos that are generated by AI. So it's going to be, all of the videos are going to be generated by AI in there. So people can just create their own videos, write a prompt, push the video out. People can follow it, like it. And that's a new type of world we are moving into, where like social media is going to be dominated with the help of AI as well.
So we're getting technology that's disrupting technology now, aren't we? That's the way this is working.
Yes, yeah. So it would be very interesting to watch this space and what happens over there.
Yeah, so you and I were talking just outside the studio about some of these new advances that are coming through. So OpenAI is a really good example of that, and being able to have within ChatGPT to be able to make bookings and to basically be able to run a bit of your CMS systems effectively. So the kind of things that you would have typically done through a website to run them through your AI and what that means.
Yeah, because they have now launched apps inside ChatGPT, which means instead of going to booking.com, if you just say, hey, find me a hotel, it will look through the APIs of booking.com, find the right hotels. But then right now what you're doing is just clicking on the link and going to the website and making a booking over there. But with this ChatGPT app, now you don't have to do it because it can make booking for you then and there. Similarly, if you want to make a reservation, if you want to purchase something, they are doing the same integration with Shopify as well. So which means they want you to remain in the ChatGPT space and do everything over there. But the opportunity it presents for the businesses is that they have launched what they call as SDK, or software development kit. And they are allowing developers to develop connections from their website or applications to ChatGPT. So businesses can, if they want to be found and if they want ChatGPT users to use them, now they should be focusing on developing an app inside ChatGPT that talks to their website.
Yeah, so in the same way that 15 years ago you needed to be on Facebook, now you're going to need to be integrated with ChatGPT.
Absolutely, yeah.
That raises for me the specter of authenticity again. I'm going to keep coming back to this because I think it's so fundamental to how we as people make our decisions, things that we want. So we talked a little bit about, your dad, my dad will believe what they see in front of them. Often they haven't been raised in an environment where they need to question what is real, although, they grew up in print media. So anyway, don't get me started. But they will believe things that are in front of them. I guess we're probably that first generation that are starting to really look at things with a cynical eye. Our kids are absolutely looking at it into what's real and what's not real.
We have been a very, I would say, distressed generation. Like, we have seen everything. Like, when we started growing up, it was like all analog and the phones that you had to dial and
dot matrix printers. And
yes. And then we have seen it all.
Yeah, it's changed really fast, and it does change the way that you think.
Are we the most smartest generation of all, or like at least the most evolving one?
Maybe. I actually think it's maybe our kids, because I think they're the ones that have absorbed so much information from such a young age.
But they already they saw it, like they have been used to of swiping and using phone like this and so on.
Yeah,
whereas we had to change a lot and learn a lot from that perspective. So I would sort of say that we are the smartest.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll let you have that, but I'm still going with the kids. The kids are absorbing more.
They are definitely absorbing more, and they are definitely on the cutting edge. But the effort that we had to put through to
we've had to remake our brains.
Absolutely, yeah. Sorry,
I think that's a whole conversation that we're going to be coming back to. Absolutely. But, and feel free to put your thoughts on that into the comments, because Aamir reads all of them and through his AI. But this question of authenticity, of trust, of reliability, when we, in any form of business, but even just fundamentally as people, AI can do some amazing things, but if how you're presenting yourself in the world, the service that you're offering, your connection to other people, if that's not real, then you're breaking trust.
100%.
So for me, I see all these red flags coming through when for businesses that may jump in and start using AI, and I absolutely want them to. I think it's mad if you don't, but be constantly thinking about, how do you show up as a person in the world? How do you show up as a business in the world? How do you let people know that want to find you, that you are who you say you are, that you are going to do what you say that you're going to do, and that you have something real to say and offer? Because otherwise it's all just noise, right? And anything that's coming through AI, how do you know that that's booking.com? How do you know that that's Shopify that's doing it?
And that's going to be a challenge that we have to cope with. And when you talked about you are doing what you are supposed to do, imagine being the biggest consultancy in the world and government paying you a huge amount of money, somewhere around $440,000, to do a research report. Like, first of all, $440,000 for a research report.
I'm holding my breath hearing me because I know this story and it just makes me go,
like $440,000 for a research report. That's outrageous, first of all. But you are a big four consulting firm. You can charge for that. But imagine using ChatGPT to generate that report and putting wrong citations and wrong clauses and like a completely fabricated report.
AI 101. Sure, use it to draft.
Yes.
Then edit heavily and check everything, particularly links and research and references.
100%, yeah.
And that wasn't done.
Yeah, and the company that we are talking about.
So you're talking about a report that would have cost, just that single report would have cost tens of thousands of dollars to produce, I'm assuming.
Yes. So the Australian federal government paid Deloitte $440,000 to do that report.
That's our taxpayers' money out there, people at work. Wow.
They submitted the report. It was accepted by the government, was published on the website until someone in the parliament called it out and said the references, the citations quoted in that report are wrong. And that's a very basic thing. Like, I'm all for using AI to generate the reports and do whatever you want to do with it. But at least have someone checking the work. That's like one of the most fundamental ethical AI principles. Like, but what's happening is that these organizations were earlier using graduates to write the reports, and governments and large organizations were paying them the money. Now they are using AI, or maybe getting their graduates to use the AI without proper training.
That's the problem, isn't it? So you've talked about this, Aamir, and I think that this message comes through so clearly every time that I speak to you, is that you treat AI like you would an intern or a new hire, someone that's come in new and is learning. So you go, great, go and do this. And then you check everything that they do and keep an eye on it. And then as they're learning, you can build trust. You can start to train that system. You can gain a bit more trust, but you still need to have oversight. You still need to be checking, because AI hallucinates. It will make up things when it doesn't have an answer.
Yeah.
And even when you train your models, and if you're using agentic AI, you can train your model to come back and tell you when it's not sure about something. You still need to check it.
Absolutely. And if you're not doing that, then what are you charging the money for? Like, isn't the government better off just getting a ChatGPT subscription and producing the report themselves?
Yeah. Can we have our taxpayer money back, please? I hope that
I think they are issuing some refund now. But
I think the highlight in this is that we need to fail fast. If you're going to introduce new technology, you need to fail fast, but you need to learn how to do this in safe ways.
That's right.
And that's for all of us, whether you're in a small business, whether you're an owner-operator, or whether you are a government agency or one of the world's biggest consultancies. Yeah. Introduce it in, test it, and fail in your testing. But my God, don't roll it out until you know that you've got protocols in place for your people as well as for your technology that present these kind of things. Because what you're doing is you're breaking trust.
That's right.
You're presenting, a lack of liability and a lack of reliability. Yeah. There's absolutely still liability in place. And, in the business sense, in the corporate world, this reminds me of things like, I'd point to the example of, say, Qantas. So when I was growing up, Rain Man was a big movie, and Dustin Hoffman's character talks about Qantas being the most reliable airline in the world because it hadn't had a crash and it hadn't had a plane that had dropped out of the sky, which is pretty important when you're buying yourself an airline ticket, particularly if you're buying yourself a premiumly priced airline ticket. Then we went through this process of offshoring, and company profits were starting to become more of a bite, and companies, of course, are having to report on their profits and go back to shareholders. So that push to reduce costs and create profits actually ate into the reliability, and you started to see, and they weren't huge issues with Qantas, but there were just a few issues with flights, and then reviews started to come in and people weren't as happy with the service. And it doesn't take a lot when you've built a business based on trust, and your name and your brand and how people feel about you is based on that. It is small things that change how you feel about them. I mean, car manufacturers. Think about the way that car manufacturers have changed over the years, and ones that we trust and we like, and that, bring out a model and everyone's like, oh my God, this is great. And then a new model comes out and it's like, oh my God, it's horrible. And we don't use it. this is going to exponentially grow with AI.
Yeah.
So the good companies, the ones that are going to win out of this, I shouldn't say good companies, that's a judgment call.
Yes.
I'm sure lots of people are good companies that are going to fail. Don't feel bad if it's you, it will happen. But the ones that win out of this are the ones that are going to put trust and reliability right at the heart and center of what they do. And that means keeping people there.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
stop firing your people and putting in AI.
And most importantly, then training the people to use it.
Absolutely.
So a lot of organizations are buying these Copilot licenses or ChatGPT enterprise licenses. You can spend thousands of dollars on buying the best piece of technology until you train people how to use it and how to not use it, then it's going to fail every single time. And it's a lesson for us as business leaders. Like, it's good to talk about AI, it's good to implement AI, but how are you making sure that people are ready to understand and use AI? That's the most important thing. Like, we are working with a law firm and they have just sort of bought ChatGPT enterprise licenses, and they were saying, okay, we are going to give the licenses to the people, and then we can do the training next week. And I said, no. let's do
the other way around.
Yes, let's do the training first. Make sure, and we go through assessment process, make sure that they are passing through that assessment process, and then provide the enterprise license. Because otherwise like one day with untrained person using AI is enough to damage the reputation of your business.
And we get stories like Deloitte or decisions made at Commonwealth Bank. These things are happening every day. So learn the lessons, read the stories, have a bit of empathy that we're all going to be in it.
100%.
No one's going to be perfect in this world. We don't expect people to be perfect in this world. But at the same time...
But it's also not about not using AI and saying, oh, it's too bad, there's so much that can happen. It's about using it mindfully. It's about saying, okay, cars are dangerous, they can cause accidents. We are going to train people on it, give them a driving license, give them a good car, and then allow them to drive it, because walking is not an option.
Yeah, absolutely. And AI in business, like everywhere, is a tool for people to use, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for our latest episode of The Dumb Monkey Show. Thank you for joining us. Aamir, I feel like we're going to come back to a lot of these conversations in coming episodes. And I think we can bring in some people to give us their perspective too on how to fail fast and fail well, and how to keep trust and reliability at the core of your operations when you're jumping into the wild world of AI. But as always, it's a really exciting chat. It's been a lot of fun, and thank you for joining us. Please come back next time.